Hello students, let's do integers exercise 1E. This is on page number 17. Question 1. If a is equal to minus 12 and b is equal to minus 10, verify that a plus b is equal to b plus a. So now we have to show that this equation is true in the sense a plus b is the left hand side, b plus a is the right hand side. We have to work out and check to see that a plus b is equal to b plus a by substituting the values for a and b that are given to us in the question. So now let's begin working this out. So now we have the question given as a plus b is equal to b plus a. Now we are going to substitute the values. Now before that, this is the left hand side and this is the right hand side. We have to check and see whether the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So first let's take the left hand side. Now what do we have on the left hand side? A plus b. Isn't it? This is what we have on the left hand side, a plus b. Now what is the value of a? Given to us in the question is minus 12. And what is the value of b? Given to us in the question is minus 10. So let's substitute the values and write. So a is minus 12. Now we'll put that in brackets because of the minus sign, plus, and b is minus 10. Now let's remove the brackets. This will be minus 12, and because we have plus before a bracket, this sign we can write as it is without changing the sign here. So what do we have? Minus 10. Now signs are the same. Both are minus signs. Signs are the same. When signs are the same, we put the same sign and we add. 12 plus 10 is minus 22. So left hand side. On the left hand side, we have done this part a plus b and we've got the answer as minus 12. Now let's take up the right hand side. So the right hand side is b plus a. So what is the value of b? Let's substitute minus 10 plus what is the value of a? Minus 12. Now let's remove the brackets. Minus 10. Before the bracket we have a plus sign, so we can write minus 12 as it is, no change. Now signs are the same. We put the same sign and we add 10 plus 12 is 22. So the right hand side also now we have found out it is minus 22. That means the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, isn't it? That means minus 22 here and minus 22 here. So we have verified. So you need to write hence verified. And what have we verified? We have verified that it's given in the question a plus b is equal to b plus a. A plus b is equal to b plus a. Now this is also satisfied a property called the commutative property. That is, when you add two integers a plus b, if you change the order, also the answer will be the same. So this is commutative property of addition. So even if you change the order of the integers, the sum will be the same. So this is how we answer our question. Hence verified that a plus b is equal to b plus a. Question 2. If a is equal to minus 7, b is equal to minus 5 and c is equal to 8, verify that a plus b plus c is equal to a plus b plus c. So as you can see, the grouping is different. There are three integers on both sides, but the grouping is different. Now we need to show that the answer that we get here is the same as the answer that we get on the right hand side. So let's write that down. So that will be a plus b plus c is equal to a plus b plus c. So now we're going to substitute the values for a, b and c. So in the question it's given a is equal to minus 7 plus within brackets b is minus 5 and c is 8. So that is minus 5 plus 8. So we are working out the left hand side first. So let's continue with that. Minus 7 plus, now within brackets we have minus 5 plus 8. Let's work that out. Minus 5 plus 8. Signs are different. One is minus, one is plus. So we put the sign of the bigger number and we subtract 8 minus 5, that is 3. So we got plus 3. So in brackets, I have plus 3. I'm going to remove the brackets now, minus 7. Now when you remove brackets, look at the sign before the bracket. It's plus, that means I can write this without any change. So let me write that. So that would be plus 3. Signs are different. We'll put the sign of the bigger number and we subtract 7 minus 3, which is 4. So on the left hand side, we've got minus 4. Now we are going to work out the right hand side. On the right hand side, we have in brackets A plus B and then we have C. So let's substitute the values. A is equal to minus 7 plus, now B is minus 5. So that also will put within brackets. So we'll make this a square bracket. So let's make this a square bracket since we have another bracket inside. Plus C. So this will be minus 7. Now let's open the brackets. The sign before the bracket is plus. So I can write minus 5 as it is without any change. So I will write minus 5. Now plus, now C is 8. So here also let's substitute for C and write 8. Now we're going to open brackets here. So when we remove the brackets, we have to work out what is within the brackets. So within the bracket, we have minus 7, minus 5. Signs are the same. We put the same sign and we add. 7 plus 5 is 12. So minus 12 plus 8. So here again, signs are different. One is minus, one is plus. We put the sign of the bigger number and we subtract. 12 minus 8 is 4. So now as you can see, left hand side is minus 4. Right hand side is also minus 4. So left hand side is equal to right hand side. So we have verified that A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. So this satisfies another property of addition of integers called the associative property, where it says even if you group integers differently, your answer will still be the same. When you have 3 integers and you group them differently, here we grouped B plus C, on the right hand side we grouped A plus B, still our left hand side was equal to the right hand side. So we have verified this answer. Now let's go on to the next one. Question 3, if A is equal to 7, B is equal to 5 and C is equal to minus 8, verify that A minus B minus C is not equal to A minus B minus C. So we're going to work this out. So let's write down that question. A minus B minus C is not equal to A minus B minus C. So let's start with the left hand side. On the left hand side, we have A minus B minus C. Let's substitute for these variables. So A is equal to 7 minus, in brackets, B is equal to 5 minus C is equal to minus 8. So close brackets again. So I have used square brackets here because I have common brackets or the parenthesis inside. Okay, so now we're going to remove the brackets. So this will be 7 minus, now 5. Now I'm going to remove the parenthesis. Before that, I'm going to see what is the sign before it. So before the brackets, I have a minus sign. That means minus 8 will now change to plus 8. So I'm going to write plus 8 here. So I've removed the parenthesis, close brackets. Now let's remove these brackets. Minus 5 plus 8 is 13. So since it is plus 13, I can write it as it is here. 7 minus 13. Now signs are different, isn't it? So 7 will have a plus sign. When signs are different, put the sign of the bigger number and subtract 13 minus 7. 13 minus 7 is 6. So on the left hand side, we have minus 6. Now let's see what we have on the right hand side. So right hand side, the question is A minus B minus C. So here we have, in place of A, we're going to substitute the value. A is 7 minus B is 5. Then close brackets, minus C is minus 8. Now we're going to remove brackets here. So 7 minus 5 is 2. And there also we're going to remove the brackets. Before that we have a minus sign. So this will change to plus. So that is plus 8. So 2 plus 8 is 10. So as you can see, on the left hand side, what did we have? Minus 6. On the right hand side, we got 10. So these two are not equal to each other. Left hand side is not equal to the right hand side, and we have verified it. So hence verified that a minus b minus c is not equal to a minus b minus c. Question 4. The difference between two integers x and minus 12 is minus 15. Find the value or values of x. Now the difference means when you subtract. So when you subtract x and minus 12, your answer is minus 15 is given to us. Now we have been asked to find the values of x. Now whenever it is difference, when you are subtracting, you will have more than one value for x because we are going to put x in different places. So let's take up the first case and see. So what we're going to do is we're going to put x first in the beginning. X minus, what is the second integer? Minus 12. And the answer between these two when you subtract is minus 15. So this is the first case where we have put x in the beginning. In the second case, we'll put x second and minus 12 first. Okay, so now we're going to solve for x and find the value of x. So let's do that. So to find the value of x, we need to open the brackets first. So when you open the brackets, check the sign before the bracket, it's minus. So the sign of this integer will change. Minus 12 will now become plus 12. So x plus 12 is equal to minus 15. So when we solve for x, we're going to keep only x on the left hand side. We don't need minus 12. On the right hand side, minus 15 is going to remain as it is. Now we don't need 12 here plus 12. So we have to remove it. We're going to do that by transposing it to the right hand side. So plus 12 will now become minus 12. Now we can solve for x. X is equal to minus 15 minus 12. The signs are the same. Put the same sign and add. 15 plus 12 is 27. So this is the first answer. The first value of x is minus 27. So as I said, here we put x in the beginning. Now let's take up the second case where we're going to put x second. So the second case is you're starting with minus 12 this time. Minus 12 minus x. So this time we have put x not at the beginning but in the second place then. Now this is equal to minus 15. This is already given to us in the question. Now we're going to solve for x. That means we're going to leave minus x on the left hand side, minus 15 on the right hand side, and we're going to transpose this minus 12 from the left hand side. We're going to transpose it to the right hand side. So since it is minus 12 on the left hand side, here it becomes plus 12. So now we're going to find the value of minus x. Minus x is equal to minus 15 plus 12. Signs are different. Put the sign of the bigger number and subtract. 15 minus 12 is 3. So minus x is equal to minus 3. Since we have minus on both sides, we can cancel off the minus. So now we have the value of x. X is equal to 3. So now we have found the two values of x. So x can be minus 27 and here x can also be 3. These are the two values for x. So let's write it down. The values of x are minus 27 and 3. Question 5. An aeroplane is 800 meters vertically above the head of a boy. Okay. After some time, it is 1125 meters vertically above the head of the same boy. What is the change in the height of the aeroplane? So initially, that is in the beginning, what was the height of the plane above the head of the boy? The initial height of the aeroplane was 800 meters. This was the initial height. After some time, what was the height? The height of the aeroplane after some time was 1125 meters. Now we have been asked to find the change in the height of the aeroplane. So the change in the height of the aeroplane, to find that out, we have to subtract these two numbers. That is 1125 meters minus 800 meters. So let's do that subtraction. 1125 minus 800. So 5 and then 2, and here we need to borrow. So 11 minus 8 is 3, and this is 0. So what is our change in the height of the aeroplane? The change in the height of the aeroplane was 325 meters. This is our answer. Question 6. Write a pair of integers whose sum will be minus 7 and difference will be also minus 7. So we need to think of a pair of integers. Now when you add up the two integers, your answer should be minus 7. So think of some numbers which will add up and give you minus 7. Now let's think of any two numbers that will add up to give us 7. What are the numbers that will give us 7? Now if we start 1 plus 6 is 7, 2 plus 5 is 7, 3 plus 4 is 7. Okay, so we can think of any pair of integers that will give us 7. Similarly, we can think of numbers that will give us minus 7 also. So let's start with minus 3, and then when you add up minus 4. Okay, so these are two integers that we are thinking of now, minus 3 and minus 4. So let's add up these two. So this will be minus 3. I'm going to open my brackets. I'm going to remove the brackets. So look at the sign before that. If it is a plus sign, what is inside the brackets will remain the same. So this is minus 3, minus 4. When signs are the same, put the same sign and add minus 7. So we have got minus 7. So what are the pair of integers? Minus 3 and minus 4. That is one pair of integers. So let's write that down. Minus 3 and minus 4. This is one pair of integers that will give us minus 7 when you add up. Now let's think of another two numbers that will give us minus 7. I'm just giving you a few more. Okay. So this is one pair. We've been asked to write only one pair, but I'm just giving you one more. Now let's take minus 2. Minus 2. 2 plus 5 I said is 7, isn't it? So minus 2 plus minus 5. So what will this be? Minus 2. When you remove the plus sign and remove the brackets, you get minus 5. Minus 2, minus 5, signs are the same. Put the same sign and add. 2 plus 5 is 7. So here also, can you see? You have taken two integers, minus 2, minus 5. When you add them up, you get minus 7. So this is another pair. So this is just for you to know that there are more pairs. So minus 2 and minus 5. This is another pair of integers which will add up to give you minus 7. Similarly, there are many more pairs, the combination of which will give you minus 7. So now we have a pair of integers whose sum is minus 7. Isn't it? When you add up minus 3, minus 4, you get minus 7. When you add up minus 2 and minus 5, you get minus 7. Now we have to think of a pair of integers whose difference is minus 7. That is, when you subtract, you have to get minus 7. Now let's look at the numbers 3 and 4 itself. Okay, let's make one positive and one negative, and let's see whether we get the same thing. So let me just take minus 3 as it is, and we have to subtract, so minus. Let me make the other one positive. So that is 4 plus 4. So now let's open the brackets. Minus 3. When you remove the brackets, the sign before that is minus. So the sign of the next integer changes. So that becomes minus 4. Now minus 3, minus 4, signs are the same. Put the same sign and add. 3 plus 4 is 7. So here we've got minus 7. So what are the integers that gave us minus 7 when you subtracted? Minus 3 and plus 4. So one is minus and one is plus. So let's write that down. Minus 3 and 4. Plus 4 or 4 are the same. So these two, when you subtract these two, your answer will be minus 7. Let's take one more pair. Now just think of two numbers. When you minus two numbers, when will you get 7? That is 8 and 1. If you minus 8 and 1, you'll get 7, isn't it? 8 minus 1 is 7. Now let's take the negative numbers. So minus 8 minus 1. Okay, so we said 8 minus 1 is 7. So I've taken negative of both minus 8 and minus 1, and we are subtracting the 2. Now let's write this minus 8. Let's remove the bracket. The sign before the bracket is minus. So minus 1 will now change to plus 1. So now here you have minus 8 plus 1. When signs are different, put the sign of the bigger number and subtract. 8 minus 1 is 7. So here also we're getting 7. So what are the integers that we used? Minus 8, minus 1. So let's write that down. Minus 8 and minus 1. These are another pair of integers that will give you minus 7 when you subtract them. So children, like this, there are many more combinations that can give you a difference of minus 7. Question 7. Write two integers, each of which is smaller than minus 3. So think of two integers smaller than minus 3. And their difference, that is when you subtract them, that should be greater than minus 3. Okay, so now two integers smaller than minus 3. Think of your number line. Now, if this is your number line and we have minus 3 here, suppose I put minus 3 here. Now, think of two integers smaller than minus 3. Smaller means they will be on the left side of minus 3. So, minus 4, minus 5, these are all smaller. Okay, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, these are all smaller than minus 3. So think of any two integers here smaller than minus 3. So let's take minus 4. Okay, we'll take minus 4 and minus 5 and let's try with that. So let's take minus 4 and minus 5, the two integers, minus 4 and minus 5. Here they're saying their difference should be greater than minus 3. Now any integer to the right of minus 3 is greater than that. So minus 2, minus 1, all that will be greater than minus 3. So let's subtract these two. Minus 4 minus 5. So this will be minus 4. Now when you see minus before a bracket, change the sign of the next integer. So this will become plus 5. Minus 4 plus 5. Signs are different. Put the sign of the bigger number and subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. So we've got 1 plus 1. And where will we find plus 1 on your number line? You will find it on the right hand side. That means that answer is greater than minus 3, isn't it? So what are the two integers that are smaller than minus 3? Minus 4, minus 5. And their difference is greater than minus 3. So what is our answer? Minus 4 and minus 5. So let's write that, minus 4 and minus 5. These are two integers and they are smaller than minus 3. But when you subtract them, their answer is greater than minus 3. Here also we have taken only minus 5 and minus 4. You can take any other pair. Any integer to the left of minus 3 is smaller than minus 3. So you can take any other pair and do the same thing. We have taken the immediate two numbers. Okay, you can take any other number here, any other pair and work it out like this. Question 8. Evaluate, and we are going to multiply minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 into the same thing 60 times. Now remember the property that we learned earlier. When you are multiplying negative numbers, see how many times you're multiplying it. If you're multiplying it an even number of times, your answer will be positive. So 60 is an even number. So our answer to this question is positive. The sign is plus. Now what about the numbers? 1 into 1 is 1. 1 into 1 is 1. And any number of times you multiply 1, your answer will still be 1. So what is the final answer here? Plus 1 or 1. Now the second one, here again we are multiplying minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 into the same thing 75 times, and 75 is an odd number. When you multiply negative numbers an odd number of times, your answer will always be negative. So here Our sign is minus. Now we have to multiply the numbers. 1 into 1, 1. 1 ones are 1, 1 ones are 1. Even if you multiply any number of times, your answer is going to be 1. So what's the final answer here? Minus 1. Minus, we got the sign minus because we are multiplying it an odd number of times. We got plus because we are multiplying it an even number of times. So children, we'll stop with this for now. In our next video, we will continue with the remaining questions. Thank you, children.